Discover the true cost of your daily phone habit and unlock a world of possibilities. In this episode, we will explore 13 exciting ideas and 19 engaging activities you could pursue instead of mindlessly and endlessly scrolling, offering a fresh perspective on how to make the most of your valuable time. Hi, I'm Mark, and this is the Mr. Productivity Podcast, the show that is dedicated to empowering you to conquer distractions, prioritize effectively, and gain daily clarity. Now, before we begin, I have a very important question to ask you. Are you ready to elevate your life? Well, I'm hoping you answered yes, because if you did, and even if you didn't, you should join us over at The Productive Life. This is my free email newsletter packed with insights to revamp your daily routine. Each week, I bring you no-nonsense tips to help you live, well, the productive life. With The Productive Life, you can expect to learn how to exceed your goals, boost your daily hustle, and balance intense work with relaxing downtime. Time is precious, my friend, and my strategies are one of the keys to achieving your dreams. Don't miss out on upgrading your productivity. Subscribe for free today at MrProductivity.com, M-I-S-T-E-R, MrProductivity.com, and transform every day into a win. And speaking of free, not only is this show for free, but if you would like a free shout out on the show, just leave me a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. I read every review and it really makes my head swell, but it makes me smile as well. So just leave me a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. It's really easy to do. Okay. Let's jump into the episode with some very sobering information. According to recent data, and there's a lot of data out there about this distraction known as your phone, the average person spends 3 hours and 15 minutes on their phone every day. That's 22.75 hours a week, or 49.3 days a year. My friend, are you average? I hope you're not average. I hope you're below average when it comes to this. But 49.3 days a year just on your phone. That's a lot of time. So what else could you possibly do besides mindlessly and endlessly scrolling on your phone? Well, fortunately for you, on this episode of the Mr. Productivity Podcast, I've got a plethora, I love that word, plethora of ideas. Here's just a few. You could learn a musical instrument. You could take up painting. Learn how to cook. When I say learn how to cook, I don't mean you get a microwave meal and you cook it on high for 5 minutes, you stir the potatoes and cook it on 50% power for 2 more minutes and let it sit for a minute. That's not cooking. I mean, you actually cook like you follow a recipe. You could take up photography. Yes, you can actually take gorgeous pictures on your iPhone if you learn how to do it. It's not just point and shoot. There's ways that you can look at a scene and make the picture really pop. You can learn woodworking. I have a cousin of mine. We are actually best friends. And he's got this idea of creating these sculptures made out of wood. He's going to teach himself how to do that. How about calligraphy or hand lettering? Have you seen these people that they write these posters out in calligraphy? It's absolutely stunningly beautiful. How about learning coding or programming? Taking up yoga or Pilates? Learning how to make jewelry? Maybe becoming a public speaker or a podcaster or a YouTuber or being really good at debating. Maybe you want to run for presidency, the president. That's just one idea. Here's another idea. You can read books. Yes, like not on your phone. I mean, you actually go and get a book. Now, you can get a Kindle book, or you can read a print book, or you can listen on Audible, but read or consume a book. I don't read books anymore. I study books. There's a difference. Reading is you read it, and you put it on the shelf, get the next one. Study means you wring that book out with as much information as you can. Here's some books that I have purchased, I have read, and I recommend. Number 1, $1 Million Weekend by Noah Kagan. If you said, hey, I want to go and leave my job, but I don't know what I want to do, $1 Million Weekend's for you. If you already have a business and you want to learn how to take it to the next level, there's 2 books by an author named Alex Hormozi, $100 Million Offers, $100 Million Leads. Then there's another book I'm going to talk a little bit about in a few minutes by Bill Perkins called Die with Zero. Chasing Daylight, My Forthcoming Death Transformed My Life by Eugene O'Kelly. He was an executive for KPMG, and then he started feeling off, went to the doctor, and he was dead within 90 days. Incredible story. In Order to Live, A North Korean Girl's Journey to Freedom by Yeonmi Park. Son of Hamas, a gripping account of terror, betrayal, political intrigue, and unthinkable choices by Mossab Hassan Youssef. Slow Productivity, The Lost Art of Accomplishment Without Burnout from Cal Newport. And The Wealth That Money Can't Buy, The 8 Hidden Habits to Live Your Richest Life by Robin Sharma. Yes, I'm very well read. I don't read books just in my comfort zone. I try to stretch what I'm learning because then I can be a better conversationalist. So I will read books that I may not agree with just so I can be well read. If you only know your side of the story, if you will, and someone else takes an opposing point of view from you, then what do? Argue? Name call? That's kind of pointless. All right, some more ideas on how you can spend your 49.3 days a year instead of being on your phone. Volunteer for a cause you believe in, making a positive impact on your community. There are so many organizations and communities that need your help. It's not so much the money, it's your time. Maybe you go serve at a soup kitchen or you go to a homeless shelter and you just help for a couple hours or maybe a half a day on a weekend. Spend quality time with family and friends, strengthening relationships and creating lasting memories. I highly encourage you to read the book, Die with Zero, Getting All You Can from Your Money and Your Life by Bill Perkins. This is an incredible book that actually has changed the way I look at life. What he talks about in this book is a lot of people save in their 20s, their 30s, their 40s, their 50s, their 60s, their 70s, their 80s, their 90s. And what happens is as we age, we can't do a lot of things as we get older. And yet we keep saving and saving and saving and saving and saving. And why? Why not spend that money now when you're in your 40s or your 50s or your 60s when you can do these things? And the whole point is to die with zero money. Now, this doesn't mean you don't give money to your kids or to your charity, but he said, hey, why not give the money to your charity now? Why not give money to your kids now instead of having them wait until you die? Fantastic book. Highly recommend you pick it up. Die with Zero by Bill Perkins. You can also travel to new places, explore new cultures, and gain new perspectives. Where would you like to go? I live in Houston, Texas. I moved here in 1997. If I gave you a percentage of the city of Houston that I live in or the state of Texas I've seen, it would be embarrassingly microscopic. I live here and I haven't seen probably 99% of what's in my area. So you don't need to fly to Paris or to New Zealand or to Australia or to China. Have you explored your city? Have you explored your town? Have you don't explode it. Have you explored your province? Most people don't. It's called a staycation. It's a lot cheaper and there's a lot of things out your back door that you probably haven't explored. So why not put the phone down and go on a trip in your hometown? Another thing you can do is you can start a side hustle or work on a passion project. This could potentially create an additional income stream. I had a client who has a passion for creating these greeting cards. She creates each one individually. It's an act of love. And now she makes a little bit of money on the side doing that. It started with joy. It started with a passion, and now she makes money at it. You can engage in regular physical exercise, which you should be doing anyways because it'll improve your health and your overall well-being. Here's a bunch of exercises you could do. You could run. I've been running at least 1 mile every day since August 29th, 2017, but you don't have to run. You can walk. We have a rebounder. I love watching my European football games. You may call it soccer, and I'm rebounding behind the couch watching the game. You can take up swimming, cycling, in other words, bicycling, do strength training. I have a 10 and a 15 and a 20-pound weight in my bedroom, and every other day I'm lifting weights. High intense interval training. I call it HIIT because there's 2 I's in it. Yoga, Pilates, dancing. You can put your headphones on or crank up the music if your neighbors don't mind and dance around your house. You can go on a hike. You can ruck. Do you know what rucking is? I didn't know what rucking is. I had to go look it up. Rucking is when you get a backpack, you put a bunch of weight in it, you go hiking. You can take up rowing. You can do stair climbing. The exercises, the options you have is virtually limitless. So exercise. Here's some more ideas for you. Take up gardening or start a small vegetable garden, enjoying the benefits of growing your own food. You can do this if you live in an apartment and you have a balcony. You can get yourself one of those self-contained units inside your house. Now, you can't have a huge garden, but don't make excuses. You can learn a new language, opening up opportunities to travel, career advancement, and cultural understanding. I have tried and failed to learn French, Spanish, and Mandarin. I don't take very easily to new languages, but maybe you do, and that is awesome. These are just options of what I want you to think about. You can practice mindfulness and meditation, reducing your stress. Who doesn't want that? And cultivating a more positive outlook on life. Now, here's the thing about meditation. Don't overthink it. Start small. Maybe just get quiet, which means not being on your phone and just going outside and just being quiet for a minute. Then you do it for 2 minutes, then 5 minutes. Then maybe you download a meditation app. But start small. Can you even be quiet without being on your phone for 60 seconds? Start there first. Then you can go take classes or go read a book or something, but start small. You can attend workshops, seminars, or conferences related to your field of interest, enhancing your professional development. Or, here's a crazy idea, maybe you go and take a workshop or a seminar or a conference that's a little outside your comfort zone. Steve Harvey says, if you ever want to be successful, you got to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. How uncomfortable are you every day? You can engage in creative writing, such as journaling or writing short stories, or even starting a novel that people have said you need to write a book. I love journaling. I've gone through phases, and I've done other episodes on journaling where I did the journal and I gave up on it. Now I'm back and I love my journaling. Finally, you can spend time outdoors. You can take a hike, you can go camping, or you can just simply go out in your backyard, take off your shoes and socks, put your bare feet on the ground. That's called grounding or earthing. You can get some sun. If you're a male, you can take your shirt off and get the sun. And then you can read a print book or a book on your Kindle. It's a win-win-win. So I hope this episode of the podcast gave you a lot of ideas, because by becoming aware of the significant amount of time you spend on your phone, and if you're average, 49.3 days a year, by becoming aware of this and exploring the countless and enriching alternatives available, you can make a conscious choice to invest in personal growth, relationships, and experiences that truly matter. Embracing these possibilities can lead to a more fulfilling and well-rounded life, free from distractions and excessive phone use. I truly hope that you take one idea that I gave you on the show today and implement it. It's not enough to go, wow, he made a lot of great ideas. No. You have to go do. And I encourage you to do something that Tony Robbins teaches. When you make a decision, I'm going to do this, do something right away, because that cements that decision. Don't say, I'm going to start walking every day next week. No, start today. Could be a 5-minute walk, but go for a walk. Don't forget to head on over to MrProductivity.com, MISTER, MrProductivity.com to get some free training. At the top of the page, you just enter your name and email address, click the button that says grab free training, and you'll get access to the free training. And if you like the show, like this episode, you like the podcast, you like me, head on over to Apple Podcasts or Spotify and rate the show, and I will give you a shout out in a future episode. I was going to say a previous episode, but I can't go back in time. I would really appreciate it. Thank you so much for your time and attention, for listening to this episode of the Mr. Productivity Podcast. I'll be back real soon with a brand new episode. Until then, remember, stay positive and stay productive.